A very warm welcome to all the students attending the session organized by the Industry Interaction Cell of the IT Madras PhD program, moderated by the Student Placement Council. I'm Sundaresh Karthik Ganesan from the SPC, and I will be presenting the session to you this evening. The session agenda starts with introduction, followed by the session talk by our esteemed guest speaker, where he will share his valuable experience and journey. And we request all the participants to ask their questions in the chat, and they will be taken up in the Q&A session as the last part of the session. So today's session is titled Bridging Biology and Data Sciences, My Journey to a PhD in Biomedical Data Science. And this is one of the most interesting topics out of all the higher education sessions until now. Right when we come to 11th class, we have to choose among two of the various major streams, biology and medical sciences and maths and sciences stream, but never both. And today we have with us Sai Sham sir, who had lived this reality. Shyam sir is a postgraduate with both his bachelor's and master's in biology from the highest QS ranked institution in the country, IIC Bangalore, and he is also a recipient of the esteemed KVPI fellowship. His interests include healthcare data analytics, biomedical engineering, system sciences and network theory. His work investigating the associations of transcription factors with specific phenotypes that have the potential to cancer metastasis was published in the Royal Society Interface Journal. Sir was accepted as a PhD scholar into three reputed institutions, University of Michigan, Washington University, and Cornell. Currently, he is a PhD scholar in biomedical sciences with the University of Michigan and is also a proud student of the IT Madras BS program. Sir, we are excited to have you as the speaker and are very much looking forward to the session. Over to you, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Sundaresh. Am I audible firstly?
You're perfectly audible, sir.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
It is visible, sir. Yes.
I'm in full screen now?
Yes, sir.
Great. Sure. So, good evening, everyone. Hope you all are fine. And I'll be starting this session. And this session will be on how I combined biology and data science in a prospective career in biomedical data science in the years ahead. So I'm a student of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, where I pursued my Bachelor of Science and Master of Science degrees in biology. Also, I minored in bioengineering. And I've also pursued a diploma in data science and programming from IIT Madras online BSc program. So this was my journey. So in school, I was fairly a studious kid. So I used to study decently. I used to get my 90% and all of that, but I used to have a lot of fun in sports. I used to try participating in a lot of the stage activities, on stage anchoring or dramas, skits. So all of these I used to take part in, and I had enjoyed all the subjects: science, math, biology, computer science, information communication technology. All of them I liked. I didn't have any problems with any of the subjects. So the teachers used to come, teach. I used to enjoy learning the subjects, had a lot of fun playing with friends and attending these lectures. So I came till 10th, I performed well in all the subjects. So next question was, I'm coming to next 11th and 12th. What do I choose? So in 11th and 12th, there is this thing that either you go towards the NEET stream or the medical stream, and otherwise you take the JEE or the engineering stream. So in my case, I was thinking, why should I drop out any one of these subjects? I like both of them, so let's keep both of them. So I had 6 subjects in my 11th and 12th, which is PU college or pre-university college, which is State Board Karnataka. And there I chose physics, chemistry, math, biology, and I had also taken English and Sanskrit for languages. So we had 6 subjects, unlike many people who take just 5 subjects. So I thought, let's go with 6, it'll be fun. Because I never had a problem with any of these subjects and enjoyed learning them. And I noticed opportunity in biotechnology and all these fields also parallelly. So I prepared for these exams, JEE, NEET, Kishore Vaigyanik Protsahan Yojan, or the KVPI exams. It was a very enjoyable process, and I most of the time focused on self-study or a school. So very small schools nearby and local coaching classes that were there. So most of the time I spent was on self-study. And when I used to be in college as well, I used to take books which I like to read, which will help me for my preparation for these exams. And I used to enjoy the process. So if there's a question, I used to think, how do we solve this? How do we reach from the current situation to a situation where you know the solution for this problem? So that was my usual approach. And I used to enjoy this process thoroughly. And I did have challenges. It's not that it was a very smooth ride throughout. I did have challenges, and I used to approach teachers, get those doubts clarified. And in the process of self-study, I got the first opportunity to go through these online content material when they were free. So there was Byju's that had started just then in 2017, 18, 19. And there was Physics Wala. All of these coaching classes, which have become big now online, they were just starting at that point of time. And I got the first chance for free online education. I didn't need to pay anything because they were also trying out. I was also trying out. And it so happened that it worked for me very well. I enjoyed learning from them, could make good notes and understand the concepts and repeat each of these lectures. So this was one of the reasons why I even joined IITM BS program, because I knew I can easily adapt to it. So when the time came. So I enjoyed the process of self-study. And when I completed my 11th and 12th, I had cleared all these exams, KEPI, JEE, NEET, and I had got admission into both medical as well as the IITs, AIMS, and all of those universities. And I chose to join IAC because I was interested in research and I wanted to know what some questions I had in biology, physics, and I thought it could be a good option. And the other option I was thinking of was Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Trivandrum. So these were my two options which I was looking forward to. And I had visited both the places and I thought IAC is a great place to join. And so I looked at that. And because biology, it was a very good option at that point of time. So I chose that. And IAC also offers this extra opportunity where through your first year, you can study all the subjects and you get to choose your major only in your second year. So that was something which was extra, which I got at IAC, which I didn't get if I joined a medical or an engineering program where I have to choose at the start itself and I have to drop out the other subjects. So I could carry along my subjects if I chose IAC. So that was one of the reasons. So I joined IAC BSMS program, and just then we had one semester and then we had pandemic. So during the pandemic, I saw this amazing lecture series on immunology and vaccines. Till then I was going, let's go physics, astrophysics, it's amazing. Then I saw applications of immunology and vaccines also. So I thought, why not major in biology? We can be of some good service to the society as well. If we can produce these vaccines, large number of people get a lot of benefit through it. So I took biology. And in the same year, they also introduced this option called bioengineering minor. So I thought, okay, let's take that along also, because that has the engineering component, which can lead to more practical outcomes of whatever research which I do, which I was really interested in. I'm very keen on working on things which are applied in the real world. And during the pandemic, I got another opportunity to attend a workshop by Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati, just called Summer Analytics, where we use data science and try analyzing medical data. And we get some solutions out of that and tell these are the trends. So that was my first exposure to data science. Till then, I didn't know anything about data science. But after the workshop, I went blank because I was very interested to pursue this, but I didn't know how I can pursue data science. I knew I could do it at home, but I needed a structured approach. And that's when IIT Madras launched its first online BSc degree program. And I just went through the content. I'm like, this is the program for me. It's amazing. I can manage the time. I know IIC coursework is difficult. Still, let's manage the time. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the night, rest 8 hours in the midday. I can put it for my IIC coursework. And it's anyway pandemic time. I don't need to run across for different classes. So I thought, let's go for it. And I took it. And one of the best decisions in life again, which I've taken, got to benefit a lot from the coursework, the lectures, and I got a proper structured approach towards data science through the IITM BS program. Because I can learn from videos online, maybe a little bit of machine learning or data science, but a structured approach where you build a strong foundation, then you move to your diploma program where you build on that foundation and then move on ahead to your projects. So this was something which was very unique in IIT Madras online degree program, and I really enjoyed it. And that gave me my data science aspect. So the next question which I had was, why don't I combine both of these? And the opportunities which come from it would be greater and I could impact the society. So that was the aim. So when you combine medicine and data science, I wanted to be in medicine side so that I could impact the people as closely as possible. So these are the opportunities that are there for people who are interested to work in medicine as well as data science at the interface of it. So you have bioinformatics, where you have your transcriptome, genome data. You can get to know which genes are overexpressed, which genes are less expressed. And based on that, you can get to know if a disease is on or off. For example, in cancer, some genes are more overexpressed as compared to others. And based on that, you can detect it. So this is how you get to know and detect diseases at an early stage as compared to waiting for a later stage of cancer, which is not very curable. So for that, bioinformatics helps. And you would have heard of robotic surgeries and all. Those are also completely controlled by the people who are making the machines. And you would have heard of LASIK treatment. In LASIK treatment, they are using machines to cut the cornea and get your lens carved into your cornea itself. That way, you can see without lenses. So for that, robotic surgery is the only way. You can't ask a human to try cutting it because you won't get that precision. So robotic surgery, another avenue for people in the interface of medicine, data science, as well as electronics. Prosthetics, again, you want to know how the prosthetic should respond to, because the person has lost a limb. And because of that, you're adding a prosthetic limb, but it should react based on certain senses which are there in the person as well as on the prosthetic arm or leg. So for that, again, data science and machine learning are important because the machine has to learn from your activities. Robotic assistants and telemachines where you say, these are the challenges you have, it can give you that. These are the medicines maybe. For simple diseases, this can be used. Diagnostics, once again, for cancer and medical imaging, again, another great opportunity where nowadays they're combining medical imaging as well as transcriptomics, where by using medical images, they can get to know gene expressions. So there are faculty in the US who are actually working on this amazing field. So these are the great opportunities that open at the interface of medicine and data science. And I don't need to quit biology or math to pursue any of this. I can carry all my subjects from my 11th and 12th, advance my knowledge and carry it ahead. And this is something extra which I get by working in this field. So this is when I decided, yes, I want to be in this field. This is really interesting to work on. And when I wake up, there should be a motivation. So what am I going to do? That is going to drive the day. So daily when I wake up, it should not be like, Arey, yaar, that exam. Oh, this thing is there, this heavy work. Again, I have to meet this client. It should not be like that. It should be something, oh, wow, I'm excited. I'm going to work on this topic and we're going to find a solution for this disease. We're going to improve the medical imaging facility. We're going to make healthcare accessible to more people across the world. So some good motivation that will drive you through the day. That way you don't get lethargic or you won't lose the purpose of life. So you have a strong purpose. And once you have a strong purpose, you connect all the dots in such a way that you make everything fit perfectly. And that is what I really wanted to do. So I decided somewhere that I should work on this field. So I focused on my research also. So at IISc, I got the opportunity to work with faculty. So I worked in the field of immunology and microbiology. We published papers in Jove. And then for my bachelor's thesis, I worked on two markers for cancer known as RKIP and BARK1. And that can tell based on their expression, we can get to know if the cancer is in an advanced stage or a very nascent stage. So based on that, we could detect. So this is another research which I've done. And these all count if you want to do a PhD. If you have a publication, it severely improves your profile. So I would suggest if people are interested, try finding a lab in a nearby university, working on some good research and publishing some papers. That certainly helps to improve your profile. So this was my PhD application process. So I decided somewhere in August, September 2023 that I would go for a PhD. Till then, I was a little bit unsure whether it's for me or not because it's a long duration commitment. And I wasn't very sure. Should I try the industry for a couple of years and then go for it, or should I try straight away? And here I spoke to my faculty advisors and got a good sense of why we should do a PhD and what it can open. And also my parents were very, 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 very supportive on this. I would say they were more encouraging than myself. They're like, amazing, you should go for this degree. They even told apply for the top universities, and they gave some good insights on that field, and they were also encouraging in that aspect. And I had a deep interest in the field of medicine, and data science also had a very good interest for it. And based on that, I wanted to apply to medical schools. So people may think, why am I trying to do a PhD in a medical school? So I wanted to work in a place where whatever research I do gets applied to the real world. And medical schools in the US, I felt, do very good research also. And since they're a medical school, you get good close access to the problems faced in the medical sector. So you get a real life problem and you're going to work on a real life solution for it. And hopefully, there is a greater chance of whatever research you do to go and impact the society. So that is the whole point of me applying to a medical school as compared to just a university. And based on this, I made a list of universities which I want to apply to, which have medical schools. Then I did a faculty search where we get to know which faculty are working on what research. That is very important for me because I want to work with that faculty for 5 years. So PhD is not independent. You have a faculty advisor, and a faculty advisor is very important because they will be guiding you through the entire course of time. Any challenges or any new ideas, they would be supportive. They'll play a very supportive role. So I made a list of them and I shortlisted out of all these programs which ones are good ones. The way I did it was, let's say there are 20 universities which I found. In that, I tried finding universities where there are at least 4 to 5 faculty whose research I like. I can't get to know what type of person they are from this end, but at least I know the research which they work on and I'm interested in. So if I have 5 options there, even if I go there and there is a challenge where I'm not so keen on one person's research topic, I can shift to another person's research lab. So that opportunity will be there where you get to rotate in 2-3 people's labs and find out which research fits perfectly. Because from here, it's quite difficult to judge that this is how the research will go about. Many of the times it depends on the team and what topics they work on. Sometimes some topics they're shifting, some labs are shifting to newer fields, and whatever they mentioned on the website is slightly old. So we may look at that and apply. When you go there, you see that they're working on some newer topic and they're trying to wind up projects in the previous topic. And this has happened to me when I was applying. So I made a list of at least 10 out of 20, some 10 universities where there are 5 faculty at least working in that field. So I have good opportunities there if I do get in. So I won't be stuck to just one person because there's no one else in the university working on that topic. So many of them, you would see that there's a wide range of programs. There is biology, there is molecular biology, biochemistry, and so many different programs will be there. And there'll be lots of faculty. So I was looking for data science, biomedical data science, bioinformatics, computational medicine. So these are some of the words which I was searching for. These were the keywords. I searched for them, made a list of them. And then I made a list of points also highlighting my strengths. So I have to convince them that this switch which I'm doing from pure biology to biomedical data science, which is a more applied field, it is actually a good switch. I have to convince them for that because it's not a continuation. If I'm from biology and if I go to biochemistry, it is continuation. But I'm shifting from biology to a more applied version, which is called biomedical data science. So for that, I had to make a list of points. So these are the things which I know from biology stream, which I gained from IISc Bangalore. And this is what I've gained from data science from IIT Madras. So I combine the strengths and tell what all coursework I did and what all I'm confident about. That's where your projects and your research papers come in very handy. If you have done good projects, like the ones which I've done in diploma program, like properly done, like you can actually showcase your projects to the people in the interview if you get an opportunity, which I did actually. So I could present that I have done these website applications. I can work on machine learning and all of that. And I also showcased to them my research. I presented to them and I told them that I have good data science skills as well as biology skills. So I can develop softwares for you. So easy to use, simple softwares which you can upload on their website. And I also spoke about some softwares which they have developed on how I can improve it during my interviews. So I did good amount of research on that, what to present in an interview, but provided I get selected in. So make a list of points, your strengths should be there, and also know your weaknesses and be ready to at least tell them that why this is your weakness, how you can overcome that. So this was my timeline. So I start off in August, September, which is very late. I would say this is quite late. My batchmates had started applying for their MS and PhDs somewhere in June only they had planned out and they had done some of their applications to Europe. And I decided in August, well, it's fine. Derai Durastai, just try it out. No worries. So I attempted TOEFL in September. By that time, I thought, should I attempt? Should I not attempt? I was thinking still. Then I thought, go for it. You're registered. Let's write the exam. I approached my recommenders also in September and I requested them to support my application. And I think 6 people, 1 person from industry and 5 people from faculty team. And all of them had agreed that they will support. I did ask 2 more people, it did miss out. So I would like to say that having at least 3 people who will support you and having backups also works. Do not limit the number because sometimes it so happens that they get busy and the letters get missed and they may not agree. Sometimes it happens like that. So always have a backup in that area. So in my case, I had a good number of faculty who are very, very supportive to me at IAC, who told they will write the letters based on the research which I did in their labs, as well as the courses which I had taken and my course participation based on my presentations, my mini projects, and all of those. So by mid-October, I had shortlisted a set of universities and specific faculty as well. And in November, I wrote my SOPs, essays, personal statements for each of the universities. So I did a tailoring for each university because the name of the program itself differs and the faculty differ. So I tailored my SOP for every university. Most people just make one and just change the last paragraph. In my case, I wanted something very specific. So I tried tailoring per university. It took more time, but I felt it was very good. I did it that way. That way, I could convince them that I'm actually interested in the research, what happens in their universities, and it's not a general application. And in December, I submitted my applications and then went to IIT Madras online degree exam on the Sunday after that. So submitted on Thursday, prepared for the exam, went for the exam on Sunday. It was fine. So we have to manage the timelines also because they won't accept even after one day. You have to submit only through the portal. So this is on priority. You have to complete it. And in January, February, I had my interviews. So you'll have your interviews somewhere around that time if selected. Only some programs offer it. And if they feel that this person we should interview because of some reason. So in my case, they wanted to interview because firstly, I am not from the US. I do not have US citizenship. And secondly, I am shifting my branch. So one of the universities wanted to actually interview me because I'm trying to do this, and they wanted to call me for an interview and so on. So, and other university, they just called everyone for an interview, and it was a good experience. So let's go into how do you go write an application? What all do they ask? So first part, most people have questions on writing statement of purpose. So this is very important. It's mainly based on what you have done in your academic part of your career. It is not your life's journey from birth to now. It's about your academics, how you have worked on your education, why you have made specific decisions related to your academic career. Your SOP has to be within a certain word limit or a page limit, which will be mentioned by the university. And that's why be concise, and most of the points in your SOP should be focused on your goal. Do not deviate too much away from goal. It could be possible that you worked on stuff which is not very, very connected to your PhD. So in my case, I had worked on certain projects which are not straight connected to my PhD, but I had to connect it. Like I had done some application developments for IIT Madras online degree projects and in other places. So I can't directly say I made a music app or a grocery app. Like they'll be like, what is the connection between a grocery app and biomedical data science? That is the question which they'll ask. So I had to tell that I have done these 2 apps. So I have very good programming skills to make other applications as well. And I have seen your projects where you have developed these applications. I would be really interested to work on these. I have personally used these softwares, and these are my results from it, or something. You can mention a link where you have used one of their softwares if you have used it. In my case, I mentioned that these are the things which I went through in your um, website, which has all these applications which your lab has developed. And I would like to enhance it in the next versions. So I had mentioned all of those, and it would be a good mix for me because I'm getting data science to your lab, which is an addition along with the biomedical side. So you do not need, the professors need not invest too much time in me to get me started on data science because I have mix of both. So quickly I'll connect to the lab. So I tried convincing them in that way. So key points. Firstly, center your SOP on your aim. You want to get into this program and you have to convince the faculty committee. It is not one faculty, you have a panel of people who will be sitting together to decide whether you come in or not before they even meet you in the interview. They see the applications and they select some of them. And then they discuss in the committee why select this candidate over another candidate. So try keeping it like a story, which is very important. Highlight key points, which is very important. If you are applying for a biomedical data science program, try highlighting that point because they'll receive thousands of applications. They have to get to know whether they're actually applying to your department or not. So for that, highlight the programs, departments, your strengths, and any other point. So in my case, I'm going for a PhD. So I told them that I'm also very interested in teaching and I've taught these courses for people in high school. And I've been running these course programs from a rural school perspective to improve their education. So that conveys that I'm also interested in teaching and I like working in to uplift people in rural areas and all of that. So 2 points added that way in one statement. So they look forward to such type of things because they look forward to inclusive students who are good at both teaching as well, because we will be the teaching assistants for the courses at the university. So that adds an extra point along with your research and programming skills. And highlight your strengths, most important. Bold them. Do not try putting some highlighter or change the color. Keep it simple. Just bold all those and do not bold every single line or every alternate word. That literally destroys the point of highlighting anything. And if you give a strength, try supporting that. If you want to say you're good at programming, give an example that says that you're good at programming, like you've developed an app, you've worked on machine learning projects, you have a research paper in that field. Those strengthen your application. And you could also use accomplishments which and awards which you have gained. So for that accomplishments, you can tell all your research papers. They will ask for it in your application. But apart from that, you can also say, in my case, I told I have a first author publication in this field. I have presented my posters in these particular universities in their conferences. And stick to the word limit because they're going through thousands of applications. If you write 5 pages when they told you to write 2 pages, I don't think they will read the other 3 pages. So stick to the word limit. Sometimes I've heard that they do keep a cutoff beyond which they just truncate it. And do not copy paste from other people or use ChatGPT. They do get to know if you're using ChatGPT. It is very clear. So I've heard from a person in a specific university who was told that people have used ChatGPT and it's quite easy to get to know. One of the ways is you use GPT-0 that directly tells what percentage of the text is from ChatGPT. The whole point of your statement of purpose is to get to know the person who you are and how you're expressing yourself. It is not to get to know something what ChatGPT is trying to say and the way ChatGPT is presenting. So this is the main thing which they're looking for, not your any IIT score or NEET score or something. They're looking for, this is the main thing. Most of the other things like your GRE, TOEFL are just cutoffs. After the cutoff, your SOP is what counts the most. Your SOP and letters of recommendation, because they are more descriptive and convey a lot of points. So do not copy paste. Even if it's simple English, it's absolutely fine. Write in your own words. Take help from people around you. You can add a couple of extra words, absolutely fine. But if you are copy pasting text from ChatGPT or from someone else's SOP, the chances are that you'll get caught somewhere. And if you do escape, then great, you have managed to escape. But I would say do not take that risk because you're investing around $100 for the application also. So key points here, highlight your strengths, give examples for each of the strengths you're putting in and accomplishments, and be concise and always focus on the aim. Then there's something called personal statement, which people confuse with the statement of purpose. So personal statement is slightly different. It's about your career journey from school. You can tell about your challenges, your personal accomplishments, what you've done. You're a good singer, or maybe you are good at some other fields, which will be useful. So in my case, I had spoken about myself in anchoring positions and being an extempore speaker and all of those aspects. And that would help me in my presentations at the university and for my research presentation, research talks. So you have to somehow connect it, but it's about your personal journey. If you've faced any hardships and all of that, you can mention it. So you can even mention if you had some financial challenges, you overcome that. And for example, rural if you come from a rural background, you do not have that much exposure, but still you came up. Those are the type of stories they look forward to. It's more of the personal journey. And you can also mention certain things. One of the most important things you can mention here is your academics, which university and how good that university is. So one aspect which I got to know from one of the interviews was they asked me, in IIT Madras, you have got a lot of S grades, and S in US means satisfactory, but you have such a good GPA of 9.7. So I told them, yes, so S doesn't mean satisfactory in IIT Madras. It means 10 GPA or the superb score, perfect score. And then they flip the sheet. You send two sheets, right? First page is your grades for each term, and the second or the backside page is having the grade. So they had missed it out. Sometimes it misses out. This is where you can mention where that you have got this grade. S means amazing. You can describe each of the grades because they go through thousands of applications and not everyone's applying from IISc, IIT Madras. They are looking at applications from across the world, from Kenya, China, Japan, Korea, everywhere, and from US. And most of the applications come from their home state, which is US. So S in US means satisfactory. And they had confused it. And I conveyed to them, and they were actually stunned. I told them about IIT Madras, and this happened in an interview. But some places I missed out also. I didn't get the interview chance, and I couldn't convey to them. So don't do the mistake which I did. I got to know this after my application. What you could do is add it in your SOP or in your personal statement that these are good grades. Just mention one line on it and how hard it is to get into IIT Madras and what work you do. Also, the curriculum is also very advanced and up-to-date curriculum. That is something we should mention about because all the tools and all the machine learning techniques, the languages used are all up-to-date. So if we don't mention it, they won't know about it. So many of the local colleges, you may have known that they're still working on curriculum which is 10 or 15 years behind. But our curriculum in IIT Madras and IISc is very up-to-date and even visionary. The syllabus itself is so visionary that it's looking for next 20, 25 years. What are the skills that are needed? If you don't highlight it, you miss it out. So I would highly suggest that you mention it, and that would be very helpful. And be honest, do not lie. And if you do have a discrepancy in your grade, some people have a C grade, some people have a D grade, absolutely fine. Mention it. Why is it bad? You can mention it. So this happened to me in an interview where they did ask me, and I told them when I came to IISc, I just joined, I cleared all these exams and I was extremely tired because I'd worked for 2 years. So I enjoyed for 2 months. And by the time the exam came, I was already relaxed and I hadn't studied much and I messed up first semester. But after that, you can see that all the GPA is above 9 GPA. And in IIT Madras, since I started from second year, I've maintained above 9.5 in all the terms. And they were very happy that I was honest in the interview that this was the case. And they look forward to that honesty. You trying to hide that is not such a great thing. I took it that, yes, I have made this mistake and I have corrected it, and you can see the effect from the next terms. So quick summary of what all are your statement of purpose, personal statement. So statement of purpose, academic journey, strengths, professional experience, research experience, awards. Why is this program a good fit for you and your career goals? How does this program help you achieve your career goals? And personal statement is personal history, all the challenges you have overcome to come till this stage, your personal accomplishments, which are sort of related to what you're going to pursue ahead. So sometimes it's very helpful. If you're going to acoustics, you can say you have good experience in singing. That will help. The same way I made use of my extempore speaking, where I can speak more fluently, and that is something which I get innately because of my childhood, where I spent a lot of time in drama, skits, anchoring programs, and all of those. So I put that in use there. And this always helps to convey the point if you give an example. And your motivation to help the society also, you can put how this knowledge, what you have, you want to use to help the society. At least in my case, I used to mention that because that has always been my personal goal, that I should do something for the society and my nation. So I mentioned it there. Okay, some important factors now you should consider while applying. So here you should know that it's not an MS program. MS programs, you have to sponsor on your own. But in the case of PhD, it is fully sponsored in most of the cases. So this is one very important aspect we should know. It will be taxed in some states. Your PhD stipend is taxed, but still they are paying you money for the research what you do. But the thing is, you have to work for 5 years. It's a 5-year commitment approximately. Sometimes 1 year up, sometimes 1 year down. So approximately 5 years it takes. And the stipend also varies across different universities and different states in the United States. So you should look into that also. Sometimes you may see that the stipend is quite low, but the university is in a college town where there's just the college and everything around the college is centric towards the college. Like there are hotels or rooms, places for rent. All of those are meant for the college students to use. So everything will be of low cost. So the stipend provided also would be lesser. But if you're going to a top city like New York, there the expenses are high. That's why they're giving you a greater amount of stipend so that you can survive there and also meet the needs, get some refreshing food, all of those things. Your stipend depends on the state where you are and the university. And you should check before you go. Sometimes there is a mismatch and people realize it there and they have to do things to save up money. So I would highly suggest don't get into such a situation. Check it out. And places in California, especially, there have been certain challenges with the stipend. They have increased it in the last 1 year. They have hiked the stipend. It was quite low, and students did request, and they have done it. So most likely, the government university or the public funded universities, the stipend is not that very high. But in the private ones like Harvard or MIT or Washington University, St. Louis, the stipend is slightly higher. But what you should know here is that in government universities or public funded universities, you also get added benefits. For example, you get bus transport free if you show your ID card because you're working for a public funded university. So you get other extra benefits. And when you go there, you get a different type of respect also that you're from government. And they're like, oh, this person's from this university. Let's help him out. There's a separate path. And if this applies even in local buses, not just in your college buses, there is a separate bus system for colleges also, and as well as for your regular transit to different locations. But your ID cards are useful for both. If you are a student of a university, public funded university, it's very helpful. In private funded, many of the times, since it's private funded, it is not possible to do that. So you get this extra money so that you can spend on your transport and so on. So there is approximately, you get benefits in one side, other side, you get slightly increased stipend to meet your needs. And unlike your MS application or your UG application, PhD applications are slightly more competitive because the number of positions available are not that very high and it's a 5-year commitment. So a faculty must be very sure they want you in the lab. So you have to tailor your application in such a way that you are a perfect fit. You have to convey to them this. And if you are applying to this PhD program just because someone next to you is applying or some person is telling go for a PhD, that is the best thing to do, but you're not interested, just know it's very competitive. People who are interested in the field and writing amazing applications also get rejected. And you are applying with a half heart. So there's a good chance that you also may miss out. So be sure when you take this decision, although it's paid, it is for 5 years and it's competitive. So you have to put all your effort to ensure your application gets accepted. That is your main goal while you're applying. It's not that just write something and pass it on and then most likely you'll get accepted just based on the name of your university. They look at your complete profile, not just one or two aspects. So in my case, they have seen both data science, biology, as well as my extracurriculars also, which I had mentioned, which where I like to talk and I like to participate in rural service, which I've been working on, empowering the education system in the rural areas. So I mentioned all of those and use those as my strength. So they look at your entire thing. And GPA also, they do look at. So some people say GPA is not important. So GPA works something like your GRE or your TOEFL. It is a cutoff. So some universities, they directly mention it. Like you can see it on MIT's profile, where they have told for certain programs, almost all the applicants who have been selected have an GPA of about 3.6 on 4. They have mentioned it. So they're not saying that we will select only if you have that, but almost all of them have a GPA above 3.6 on 4. So if they're mentioning that, your GPA is acting like a cutoff. It is conveying a very important point. Many people miss out on it and they have a 7 GPA and they spend some money on the university, but you're not meeting the criteria itself. So rather than investing in a university where you cannot get in, put the same money to a slightly one step lower university you may get in. So that is very important there. So people should not make that mistake. Just go through the application process. Mostly they would have told this. And it's not a direct conversion from your grading system on 10 to 4. They don't divide by a 2.5 to get to that. There is a specific way where you go to certain websites like Scholaro or WES, where you give your mark sheet based on your university's difficulty. They will convert it. When I converted my IIT Madras transcript, I had a 9.7. I thought I may miss out on the 4 on 4. But they actually value education in India to such a high level. Like I got a perfect 4 on 4 when I went through that. So each of the courses where even if I score an A, that was being converted to a S grade or A plus in their. So they really value our education system and they have a lot of faith in us. So do a proper conversion. Do not randomly divide by 2.5. Send it to them and they will do it, WES, and they will send the report also. So you don't need to take it and send it. You have to mention the universities which you want to send to. And they'll send it to, I think, so 3 universities for free after the evaluation. And the other universities you have to pay. But if you're sending it to university, you have to tell them in advance while sending the reports for evaluation. So that is something which you should do. And some universities actually tell that they want it from Scholaro only. And for that, you have to use that particular conversion system. And they will do it for you. You just need to mention your university, and IIT Madras appears in all of their portals, all the WS, everywhere. So it's quite easy. So how do we select a university? So how I went about, I'll tell you, how do I select a university? So I went through the QS, THE, US rank, college rankings, all of those. So made a list of around 50 universities. But those places have not seen any department, just took the list, top 50 I took. Then I went through each of the department of interest, searched for topics which I'm very interested in working in. And from there, I get a list of 20 universities. So from 50, I come to 20. From that 20, I go on looking for faculty now, whose research closely aligns with my research. And then I selected those faculties and made a list of them. This university, this list. This university, this is the list of faculty. And then I also had a link to their lab webpage. So next time when I come, I just go to my Excel sheet and that drives me directly to their webpage and I can get to know. So while writing my application, I can make use of that. And then I also check if these faculties have a vacancy in their lab. If they do not have a vacancy in the lab, or if they have some challenges in funding, or they're transferring to another university, it becomes a trouble because you mention their name in your SOP that you like their research, you want to work with them. And it so happens that they're moving to a different place. And that creates a trouble for you because there's no one left in that university to accept you. And you have applied with this person's name. So your application goes waste. You do not want that to happen. So just go through the website and get a list of them. And do not mention 1 or 2 faculty names, at least 3 to 4 faculty names, their research and what aspect of their research is good and how you can contribute to their research. So that's what you should write in your SOP. Around 3 lines per faculty for 3 faculties, around 9 to 10 lines go into faculty and why you like their labs. And make a list of faculty you work with and tailor your application to universities based on it. The tailoring meaning you write the faculty name, their research, how you can contribute. So I used to mention things like I can do the software development if they are working on software. But if they're working on biomedical data science, I used to say I've worked on machine learning, I can help out, I can quickly learn deep learning techniques, and I can also start contributing to the research. And such type of points I used to mention in my SOP. And I used to keep it like a story. So each faculty get a good support, like good idea that I'm actually interested. And they would be willing to support me, means they'll put forth the name that I'm going to vouch for this student because he's interested in my research. So that's how it happens. You need a couple of faculty on the interview panel who will say, yes, I want this person. So this is how I followed it. Some other people also follow it in a different way. They directly contact the faculty via mail and say to them, yes, I'm interested in working in your lab. So please accept me through the program. And based on that, the faculty will accept you. And that is a faculty acceptance, meaning you are getting into the university via a faculty. So you are bound to work in their lab. So that is the commitment you give, that if you're joining that place, you're working with them. So the advantage of that method is your PhD may finish fast. I would say may, because not sure. Each PhD is not the same timeline. Some take more than expected and some take lesser. So if you do get a faculty acceptance, great. You get into a university, you have a faculty. The challenge with that is you do not know the faculty and the lab so well. You just know their research. So you're not sure if the work ethic in the lab and all of those are going to work with you. Maybe the timings of the lab are different. So all of those also matter, because when you go there, you are expecting now that you'll work from certain time to certain time. You may be a person who works overnight and gets back in the morning for your results. Other people may work through the day. So some faculty prefer students who work through the day. That's the way they can discuss more with the students. Some faculty give freedom to the students that you report back to me once in a week. So that comes into your work ethic of the lab. So it differs from place to place, and you don't know how that will be. So you should also maybe discuss with the students also, if possible, of that lab. They may give some good insights on what is the work way in the lab and all of those informations. And once you get that info, you have a list of faculty, universities, and make your applications. Tailor them. In my case, I did it for each and every university. I made a separate application. And other minor factors are application fees. It's about 100 per university. And try applying before the priority deadline and look at the PhD stipend and the cost of living. And if you're uncertain about a research, try applying to programs which allow maximum entry, like umbrella programs, where you get into a department and then you can choose your smaller research topic later. Lastly, I would come to letters of recommendation. Very important. You need 3 strong letters of recommendations to support your application. So request faculty, industrial managers at least 2 months in advance. They need time to write, and give them some material like your CV and some points, how you had worked in their lab. If you have done some good work, mention it to them. They may have forgotten. It doesn't hurt giving those points and they mentioning on the SOP, in their LOR or the letter of recommendation. Because if you don't mention that, it will hurt more for your application. So they can mention your strengths and give examples. And a typical LOR is around 1 or 2, I think 2 pages. Good LOR is around 2 to 3 pages. So I've not seen LORs, but I've checked it on the internet. So it is completely hidden. The professor sends it from their end. So it would be good if you give them 2 months so that they can write a very good letter of recommendation. It's good amount of time. Give your CV and a list of points about your strengths and what work you did while working with them. And let them elaborate on it and tell them, give a reminder around a month before your deadline. That way they submit it on the portal, and it's free of cost. You just press the button and it goes. You don't need to write a mail and post it or anything like that, like in the olden days. So your LOR is your responsibility. Your SOP, your POS, all of those are your responsibility. Ensure you do a good job in this. And you can ask your faculty to not, if they write something like, I know this student, he has attended my class, he has 90% attendance. That doesn't support your application. That just tells your attendance. It should be more elaborate, telling, yes, he has attended my class. He has been a very good participant in all the lectures. He gives a lot of emphasis on teamwork, all of those aspects, what you have done in the project. Not just about attendance and please, I recommend the name. So ensure that doesn't happen. I've heard that such type of LORs do go, and it just hurts the application process. So just do that. And then your interviews. So if you do get selected, you will have an interview. In the interview, be confident as well as humble. Do not be overconfident. So you know your stuff, greet the person, be well dressed. It does make a difference to be well dressed. Be in formals and listen carefully to what the person is saying, the interview is saying, or the panel is saying, and respond to them. You can discuss about your research, your projects, and why the university is a good fit for you, and how this PhD will help you achieve your future goal. You can discuss all of these points. And they will also give an opportunity for you to ask questions from them about the university and what you want to. Ask good questions. Do not ask things like, how long will be my PhD? Ask very good questions about their research. I asked them about their research, and how I can contribute to that. And I found some anomalies and all of those in my own research, and I asked them how I can improve on this to make better models and all of those. So you can ask questions about your research, their research, seek some inputs. It's a good experience. Even if you miss out on getting selected, this is still a very good experience. And time is limited. Do not give long stories. Short stories, to the point, and convince them that if you are offered admission, you will surely join. And then I would like to thank the entire IITM team for this opportunity and for all the support through the IITM BS years. Special thank you to Bharti ma'am and the support team, Kamala ma'am, everyone, because they were helping me out whenever there was a technical glitch. And many of the times people forget the support team. We just see the faculty on a daily basis during the lectures. So I would like to mention even the support team a big thank you, as well as the professors. And best wishes to all the people, and we're open for questions.
Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful session. I think we can move on to the questions now. Many people have been eagerly waiting for their questions to be answered.
Yes.
So the first question comes, what is the difference between bioinformatics and biomedical data science? So this is a technical question.
Okay. So bioinformatics need not be related to just medicine. You can do bioinformatics related to plants, animals, mice, bacteria, all of those. So you have your transcriptome, genome data, and you analyze that, and the protein structures, all of those come under bioinformatics. So biomedical informatics or biomedical data science need not go into transcriptomic level at all. It can take data from your hospitals, which could be BP or heart rates or any of these data points, your medical imaging data, and analyze the same along with your sample data, your blood test data. All of these can be analyzed in computational methods using biomedical data science. So your applications are directly in medicine in biomedical data science as compared to in bioinformatics.
Yes, thank you. And another interesting question is, I am a pharmacy graduate, want to pursue MS in bioinformatics and systems biology. And
Okay.
they are requesting some good schools for that.
Okay, so pharmaceutical, I'm not quite sure. I never looked for pharmaceutical, but what you could look at is medical schools. Most of the medical schools have very good pharma departments, and you should look into those programs. I think University of Michigan also has a good pharma program. I think Harvard also has a really good program. So medical schools you could target. They have pretty good programs, and they're in very applied field. So I think that would be a good option, but I've not specifically looked into pharma.
Yes, sir. And another one of the most impressive points, even in your introduction, that we thought of was the presence of the name IIC Bangalore. And for students who want to pursue undergraduate programs in India, it is a dream institution. So one very thrilling question that is asked by Rishabh Raj is, how can we join IIC Bangalore?
Okay. So if you're coming for UG, then you have to clear either JEE Advanced, JEE Main, NEET, or ICER aptitude test. You have to have a top 200 rank, I believe. My time, it used to be top 200. I'm not sure what it is now. And that's how you enter the BS program. And if you're in the top, around the same top 200, you can also get into the BTech Math and Computing program, which is recently started. So those are great opportunities. And like I said, you don't need to choose your major in advance. You come here, enjoy for 1.5 years, and then in your 4th semester, you choose your major. And even after that, you can choose a minor and take courses from across departments. So that is something which IISc allows. And if you want to come in for MS, MTech, or PhD, you clear your GATE exam with a top rank, top 30 ranks, I believe. It varies from department to department. You most likely top 30 people will get in. That's how it is, I believe, provided you don't mess up the interview. So you do a good interview, you do a good written test, should be good. Hope that answers the question.
So that was a wonderful answer. I hope we have many postgraduates from IISc Bangalore after they complete IIT Madras BS Data Science. And there is another question from Shreya Shahbaz. I'm currently doing an internship at CESIR-CCMB, which involves transcriptomic data analysis in genomics, which I found really interesting. What PhD program could I look for which involves transcriptomics?
I think you could look for bioinformatics programs that has a good amount of transcriptomics. Also, there is genetics programs. So genetics, transcriptomics, genetics, bioinformatics, and maybe biomedical informatics. Also, certain labs do work on it. But biomedical informatics moves more towards the data science as compared to the biology part of it. It's more medicine and data science. So I think you could look for bioinformatics as well as genetics, human genetics, all of those type of things, human molecular genetics, human genetics, genome, pH, genomics. So on those lines, you have to find some keywords. Once you start your application process where you start searching for the universities, you will automatically find those keywords and then you start searching along those lines. So University of Colorado, Denver has this human genetics program. They also have a bioinformatics program and they accept people from both those programs. And it's a very good university. So I found around 3 faculty who are really good there in certain similar alignments. So they work on softwares for transcriptomic data analysis. So you could maybe look into that.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your wonderful insight. And we are getting many interesting questions regarding the different combinations of bachelors that the students are doing and what they can pursue in the future. So one such question is, can I apply for masters in the US for biomedical data science after doing MBBS and data science in India?
100% you can do that. I know a person who has done that and he joined Cold Spring Harbor Laboratories. So he did a MBBS from AIMS Delhi and then he worked in research for a couple of years at IAC at NCBS. He did a really good job at it. And then he got some publications. He strengthened his data science and he decided, I have done my MBBS from AIMS, but I like the research aspect a lot. So I want to pursue this field and he applied to universities US. He got into Cold Spring Harbor laboratories and he's doing pretty well there. And there's another friend of mine who I've worked my master's thesis with. He's a person from medical college known as Ramaya. And he didn't have a single line of code, how it's written at one point of time. Today is an exceptional programmer, I would say. Within 1 year, he put the effort, learned it, and he's trying to apply programming and proteomics and he wants to get into that. So he's got into IIT Bombay to do an MTech. After the MBBS, he's got into do an MTech in, I think, biomedical engineering or bioengineering. He wants to work on structural proteins. So you can get it. The only thing is try choosing something that is in favor of you. That is what I would say. So if you are doing just for a PhD, try applying to medical schools. You have a better chance as it. You have an advantage over other people because you have an MBBS. Do not remove your strengths away. Always play by your strength. When I applied, I didn't apply to data science programs. I applied to biology programs which involve data science because my degrees BS and MS are in biology. Data science is an addition which I'm telling I'm getting it in. So when I applied, I always focused on the bio and the medical aspect and used my strength. If you leave your strength and just say you want to go into it, you have to convince them. It's 5-year duration. They're giving commitment that they're going to pay your stipend and so on. So make use of your strength. And there is something called as an MD PhD program in the United States. Medical students have a greater preference of getting into those programs. So have a look at that. It's called MD PhD and it's there in most of the medical schools. I think Johns Hopkins has a great MD PhD program. You could also look at that.
Thank you for this wonderful insight, sir. I'm sure the programming world will definitely welcome some doctors as coaches. And one last question as a senior that the students would love to ask you, how can I find my purpose? And doing this data science degree alone, standalone now, how can I find my passion and how can I get into some new fields and find what I can do further?
Okay. To find your purpose. So in my case, it took some time. It doesn't come within one day. I just kept the focus to be on, I want to do something for the society. And I keep working on that on a regular basis by improving rural education for students and some community service activities and all of that. And during the pandemic time, I worked on some COVID helpline and all of that. So that's when I got to know I want to work in the medical sector and improve the facilities there using data science. And India may miss out on the race unless people actually take this up slightly more seriously because we are still focusing on data science for other applications. But the medtech area, many people miss out just because of biology or math. And people who drop biology go into math and they do not have that much interest towards medicine so much after a point of time. And the people with biology, they may get interest in math, but you learn a lot of math in engineering or in certain fields like that, and they miss out due to that. So I felt that this area has a lot of scope. I know I'm taking a big leap of faith on this, that there is a lot of scope, but the thing is, it motivates me that yes, we can contribute in this area. And I would like to encourage other people also, if they're interested, please do come in. The nation needs a lot of people in this field, so this will be very helpful. So please do come in. And that's how I found my motivation, that we want to do something in this field. And I'm also open to any questions if someone wants to ask by unmuting or by chat or anything. So please feel free to.
I think we have almost covered all the questions from the chat. It was majorly about, and there is another question about the combination of biotechnology and data science, because people always confuse all the bio groups, bioinformatics, biomedical, biotechnology as just biology, and therefore they sometimes forget the distinction. So what do the combination of biotechnology and data science has to offer?
Okay, so biotech, bioengineering. So there is a difference between all of these. So biotech is more at the molecular level, where you do genome editing and genetic engineering and all of those stuff. That comes under biotechnology. Bioengineering can be biomedical engineering, where you're trying to engineer uh, your X-ray machines, your MRI machines, and so on. That comes under that, your ultrasound machines, and so on. And you also use point of care devices manufacturing. Point of care devices meaning your diagnostic devices. So those all come under your bioengineering part of it. And biology is like pure biology aspect, where you learn about zoology, botany, and so on. So that is sort of the distinguishing aspect, but I feel that they're very connected. Frankly speaking, they're very connected, and that's the reason why IISc has everything housed in the same building. So, and there's a lot of collaboration. Trust me, there's a lot of collaboration that happens, and you should feel more free to go across departments and explore. And even my faculty at IISc, Professor Mohit, says this, that so some people call me an engineer, some people call me a biologist, some people call me a biomedical engineer. The names are different, but we work in an interdisciplinary field, and it's so good that we can contribute to research in all these fields. So don't try distinguishing it very strictly. Just know basic amount how to distinguish. Rest everything you can just feel its interface and mix match, come here, there. It's all together science, and just have fun. I think some people have some doubts. Some people are raising their hands, I believe, in the middle. So is it fine if they ask questions?
I think those questions were taken care of, sir. And some people also have doubts regarding GRE and TOEFL that you mentioned in your presentation. If you could share some insights about that.
So GRE and TOEFL. So TOEFL is not needed if you have done at least 3 years at IIT Madras BS program. Just move to your transcript. At the backside, it's written that this course was completely done in English. All the content is in English. So this is a huge advantage. So I'd written TOEFL, but it was useful only for one university. All the other universities just waived it off because you have done your education in English, and both IISc as well as IIT mention it on the transcript at the back that it is education in English, and that's the reason why you get a waiver. In terms of GRE, if you're going to computer science, math, such type of programs in engineering colleges, some programs do need it, and some programs they keep it optional. If it's optional, I would highly encourage people just go for it and put it. In the programs which I applied for, it didn't require GRE at all because these are all medical schools. The only optional thing what they suggest was if you have written MCAT, which is a exam for the medical students, you can mention it. And for MD, PhD and MD students, I think that was more relevant. In my case, I didn't need to write GRE or MCAT. I just wrote TOEFL, and it was useful only for Cornell. So these were the, let me just see if I have that list. Yeah. So these were the universities I applied for, and I missed out on 6 of these universities and got into 3. I think I applied to one more. Yeah. So 7 of them I missed out. I got into 3 places. So I did apply to big places because my grandmother always used to say, if you're aiming, aim big. So go for the top universities, find faculty. And most of the time, the top universities usually have good programs, and they will have faculty working on cutting edge topics. So that's why I wanted to go for them. And I didn't go everything top. So I did apply some mid-range for safety. And some people may notice I've put for MD Anderson Cancer Center. So many people may not know it, but it's a leading cancer center. It's one of the best places for cancer-related research. So it may not be something as good as a Harvard in terms of engineering and all of those. But for this particular field, which I want to get into, it's stellar. It's amazing. So that's why I applied to that. And you can see most of the places I go for medical schools, try keeping it as close as possible to my strength. So this is what I went through.
Thank you, sir. That was absolutely inspiring. And I think we have reached the end of the session now. It's time. So thank you, sir, for this very...
If anyone has any other question, please feel free. It's absolutely fine. You can unmute and also ask.
Yes, sir. I think we pretty much covered all the questions, sir. People had very common questions and we did cover it all. And also for all the participants, sir, you can connect with sir and ask any questions you want.
Oh, yes. You can connect on LinkedIn and you can share your question via the chat or through the IITA email ID also. I think Sundaresh would share that as well.
Yes, sir, for sure. And yes, absolutely, you can do that because apart from being a reputed speaker and an esteemed speaker, he is also your peer from the same program and he's like a classmate, but a senior as well. So I really like that fact. And thank you, sir. Thank you for this interesting and fun session. Your experience stands as an inspiration and I absolutely love the fact about how you chose everything that you are passionate about and explored an impactful field that directly contributed to the society. You also highlighted the importance of choosing your passion as an everyday motivation to work, and also how research publications are important for a person to pursue higher and higher opportunities in academics. You elaborately explained how to prepare our applications SOPs for pursuing PhD programs tailored to each university. And I particularly like the timeline orchestrating your data visualization skills as well. I hope that all the participants also understand the importance of S grades in your academics and strong LORs to pursue higher education in reputed institutions and dream locations. Thank you, sir, for your time and this wonderful and valuable interaction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for joining. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or via mail. So I'll be free to connect and use the motivation. It's all around. You can see these universities. You may be here in the upcoming years. So that's why I made this slide. You can see some good universities, some good nature around, and hopefully we get to meet again at another talk at the conference.
Absolutely, sir. We would love to
at least
have
at
you
Paradox. Again. So I don't miss out on Paradox. Every year I come for Paradox. You can feel free to meet me at Paradox.
I'm looking forward to meeting you in Paradox and really have some good research talks, sir. I would love to do that. And I invite all the other participants to come and join us as well.
Sure.
Yes. So thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.